on the expensive mic today. I might sound a little different. Hey, I wrote this shit for Ronnie, just know I'm here for you, brother. Reminiscing on them days when I shed a tear for you, brother. Know the toughest days you've been through are in the rear for you, brother. God moves on his own time, and he made it clear to you, brother. See the finish line. I visualize realities I wanted, then invented mine. It ain't how you start, it's how you finish. Word to the scrimmage line. Luckily, my hustle is my passion. This shit intertwined.
Yo. Welcome back.
What's up?
Welcome back to the Coach's Corner podcast. I feel like it's probably been a week since we've had an episode, right? Because of traveling and holidays.
Yeah, the holidays. Yeah.
Fuck. This is like the first year we can actually say that. I feel like we really haven't even walked away during the holidays in a minute.
Yeah, legit.
But dope. Well, welcome back. For those of you that are listening, today we have a very special guest, my good friend, Omar. Omar has been a huge part of my life over the course of the past few months. We've been working together on the fitness front and really all sides, and we'll get into that of what Omar truly does, because Omar is way more than just your typical fitness coach. Like, the dude is very well versed in every area of life. So really, grateful to have you here, Omar. You've been a huge piece of my transformation and continue to be. So grateful for you and grateful to have you here, man.
Thank you, bro. I love it. I'm so excited.
Of course, brother. Give us an intro, because I think I was trying to formulate a good intro for you, and in reality, I think there's probably you have a way better perspective of you're very set in stone in who you are and what you do,
Yeah.
And for me, it's you touch so many different areas that it's hard for me to formulate it in words. So tell the people.
Yeah, man, it's pretty tough for most guys looking on the outside in, but essentially I am a transformational coach specializing in helping 6 to 8 figure entrepreneurs operate at peak performance. And what that looks like for those of you watching, if you are a businessman who's scaling their business, I come in and consult you on optimizing your health so that you can ultimately perform with more focus, more energy, more drive, confidence, and come from this place of greater well-being, which inevitably drives more revenue, more impact, and a better quality life.
Oh yeah, 100%. And to touch on that, right? It's so much more than fitness in that space. It's we've had a lot of conversations around this where, the fitness space can generally be, it's I always say this, right? Everybody has the general knowledge around what fitness is, right? Okay, keep a general eye on my macros, have my shit together, fucking work out, and maybe I'll get some results, right? But it's the approach that you take is really different. So talk about what it looks like from your perspective of what true health is.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So true health, that's a big question. Let's put that aside for a second and just understand what we're actually doing here. So when I take a guy on, right, typical businessman usually has a lot of limiting beliefs surrounding his health. And it starts with time scarcity, first and foremost. It's not financial. 5K to this type of guy, 10K to this type of guy is not the issue, okay? It's more, hey, I don't know if I can actually fit this in my schedule without taking away from my business. That's the worst thing. We don't want that. What I actually help you do is integrate a practice and a lifestyle so that you actually improve the way you look and feel as a byproduct of the habits you do on a day-to-day. And ultimately that drives even more success in your business. So rather than taking away from it, we're actually looking to enhance it. However, just like the other day, I was at a networking event, multi 8-figure entrepreneur who was talking on stage. Him and I were chatting after, and he goes, basically just asked him look, dude, you're trying to get in better shape. I mean, you made a lot of money, but you're 50 pounds at least overweight. And he's like, I already know what to do. I just got to stop eating cupcakes. Now, that's the same thing as someone who wants to build their business going up to you guys and saying, I already know what I got to do. I just got to make more money. Like, I just
Yeah.
gotta, I just gotta close more deals. It's like a fucking chorus, Sherlock, right? So here's the thing. Understanding why you're doing it, understanding what your true desires are, is the compass to you achieving those fitness goals, right? You getting shredded, you getting the body of your dreams as an entrepreneur, and for most entrepreneurs, it's kind of a luxury. It's like, that would be nice, but it's not a priority, right? So for those guys, that's not who I'm talking to. And I'm not trying to convince you to get in elite shape. If you're not already thinking like that, if you don't want to be the top 1.1% of the 1%, like if you don't want to look phenomenal, be jacked as fuck, and make millions, then I'm not talking to you, right? That's not who I want to serve. I want to serve the guy that wants to be a 10 out of 10 in every category, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, not just financially, right? So how do we do that? Well, it really starts up here, right? It starts about dialing in the belief system that they have, ripping out the limiting beliefs from their subconscious mind that they're essentially filtering their life through, right? I don't have time, so I got to order Uber Eats. I'm not performing as well. I got to get more shit done, so I got to slam bang energy drinks, which ultimately burdens your body even more, is stressing you out even more. And then they're also sacrificing sleep to try to get more done. And what are they doing? Sabotaging their performance and hurting their business without even realizing it. They're trying to get more done, and they're thinking in their mind, I want to get ahead. And in fact, they're actually setting themselves back, right? Because they're getting less done out of more time. Whereas what I help you guys do is get more done out of less time, be more efficient and more productive in your time so you can succeed and not sacrifice your entire life. Like, the point of life is not work, 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 right? We're not here to just build a business. Like, that's not our end game. Our end game is to live an epic fucking life and do whatever we want, whenever we want it, wherever, right? Building a business, like, these are our passion projects. This is fun. We get to impact the world. We get to change people's lives, and we get to make fuck tons of money doing it. But like, if your entire life revolves around grinding, it's just like you're putting yourself into this box or this hamster wheel, and you're no different from a corporate slave. Like, you just became your own slave, your own employee, right? So, and if you've got everything automated, if like most 7-8 figure entrepreneurs, you've got a team, right? And these are more so the type of guys that I like to work with one-on-one, because they don't have the excuse of the guy who's starting from the ground up. Like, the guy who's starting from the ground up might need to put in those extra hours, might need to stay up a little bit later. And that's great. That's kind of necessary in the beginning. However, the guy that's got things automated, that's got a team running for him, and he can go out and go play golf on the weekends, he can do whatever he wants, he can go hike. Those are the types of guys that I really love working with, because it's actually very easy to see results with these guys. Like, they don't lack the discipline. Most people think they lack the discipline or the motivation to achieve that body. Like Mike, right now, before you started going ham on your fitness, and you're in incredible shape already, but before that, did you feel like it was a matter of discipline for you?
You talking to me or the other one?
Oh, let's see, Pugliese.
Me, Pugliese? Yeah. No. To that, dude. To that point, it's like it's 100% the discipline. Like the body and stuff. Like, to that point, like I've been at the fitness grind for, I don't know, like 6 years or so. But it's literally just 1 + 1 = 2 type of thing. Like, it's
Right.
very
It's very
simple, and that's
mechanical.
what people. Yeah.
People don't they complicate it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's simple. Is it easy? No. That's where I come in, because it's like success is very mechanical, but you have the mind that usually gets in the way. And for many people, it's actually more of a mindset approach that I take with them, helping them reprogram their mind, helping them get clear on their desires, helping them get clear on why they want to do this or what's stopping them. And then from there, it's just easy. It's like, okay, boom, you got your training program, you got your customized nutrition plan. Awesome, you got all that. However, you can find that online for free. Will it be customized to you and your needs? No, but like the actual strategy is not as much of a concern to me, or is not as much of the differentiating factor whether or not a guy sees results or doesn't. It's not a matter of the strategy itself all the time. It's more of the character traits, right?
Mhm.
Like the discipline, the consistency, the patience. You've been at it for 6+ years now, and you've got bricks for abs. Your average entrepreneur is like, oh, that would be nice. Like, I'd like to do it in a few months, or let me do that in a year, right? No, dude. No, that's not how it works. Did you build a 7-8 figure business in a year? Fuck no. I mean, maybe it took you a little bit shorter than it took the other guy, because maybe you had the right systems or you had the right mentorships and people around you, but you also put in that years of effort beforehand, learning all that stuff, reading books, watching content, doing.
I think we lost the audio. I can hear you, Mike, but
When the call comes in.
yeah, legit. He's like abort.
Let me see if I do this. Does that work?
It's gonna rejoin, I think. But to the listeners, just bear with us, because we probably ain't gonna clip this shit.
Yeah, 100%. There we go.
There we go.
There he
We
is.
got him. Hey.
All right, I put my phone on DND. I
There you go.
don't know why it wasn't, but so yeah, what we were saying was, it's really the lifelong skills that I teach, so that someone isn't just reliant on me. And as you guys have heard, like in your program, I know you guys are like this too. You're not just giving people the fish, you're teaching them how, so that they're not relying on you, and they actually understand how to think like a 7-figure owner, how to think like someone who's in top 1% shape, or for more accuracy, like 0.1% shape.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
yeah, basically, man, like it's not a matter of having the time or having the money or having any of that. It just comes down to desires. Like, if you really wanted it, you would make it happen. And most people deceive themselves into thinking that they don't want it. Deep down, they do. Like, I know that these 8-figure guys, they're like, still feel like something's missing. I can tell, because they've got all the money, but like on the outside, I mean, I can see right through them. Like, they're not truly happy. And they'll never be unless they get their health dialed in, because that is truly what sets you free. Like, when you have the health, you have your wealth, you're happy as fuck, you're fulfilled, you are always going to want more. That's kind of the nature of humans, and that's the nature of especially entrepreneurs. However, making more money is not going to solve your problems internally, especially, right? So that's where, guys turn to me, and I can help guys that really want to self-actualize at a greater level that is past financial wealth. It's more of internal and spiritual wealth.
100%. And to your point, like, realistically, I would consider myself to be your ideal client, right?
You
Because
are. Yeah.
because in all actuality, like to your point, it is about desire. And
Yeah.
for me, it's like I have previously, even up until like very recently, like when we started working together, and like even to the point where like this last week, like a week ago from yesterday, like was where I sat down and was like, yo, like let me stop like fucking around, because for me it's like it's time management, ma- it's time management and desire mixed, right? It's like you have a desire to grow your business, so therefore you're prioritizing growing your business, right?
Hmm.
But the same desire needs to be there for health. And also
Right.
like for me, the mindset shift that I had to make like 2 weeks ago, because I've been on like this spiral of like hitting peak performance, like hitting solid stride in fitness, like going hard, starting to get a solid body frame, and then being like, fuck, like I need to really strap into business for the next 2 weeks, and like not going to the gym and losing all those results that I just got for the
Right.
past like month and a half. Right. So like
Yeah.
that's kind of been like my spiral for the past like year and a half or so, has been like a roller coaster of hitting peak performance, feeling good, and then fucking going down, and then going
Hmm.
back up and going down.
Hmm.
And like to that point, it's like what really made my shift 2 weeks ago, where I was like, yo, fuck this. I need to stop. I need to get off of this hamster wheel, was the fact that like thinking about it as the long game, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I've been somebody who, to your point, I've been somebody who's generally been I'm not mad about the way that I look, and like I'm not completely happy about the way that I
Yeah.
look. Like I don't have a six pack, but I'm not
Yeah.
fat. I'm like whatever, like like that's how I've kind of been about my physical appearance, like in the
Yeah.
past. But then like understanding, to your point, it's like, well, I've got this one fucking life, and like, do I want to be like, I'm not fat, I'm not fit, or do I want to be like, dude, I'm a fucking
I
model
look
in
like a
every area?
beast.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like that's
Yeah.
the thing, is like for me, I was always like, well, like in the past, right? Years ago, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I would be like, well, I'm not fat, I'm not fit, but I am broke. So I'd be like, so I need to fucking make money for sure. So like I would always push everything aside to get to the point that we're at now. But
Yeah.
it's like in the point that I'm in now, it's like, okay, cool. We know how to fucking run a business. Things are running smooth. We've got a really solid team. Like obviously there's optimization and things that come out of that. But in addition to that, it's like, how do I want to leave this earth? It's like,
Yeah.
I want to leave this earth, just like you mentioned, fucking fit as fuck, like whatever that means, right? Like fucking
They're gonna be
everybody.
burying you in the ground, looking at your six pack, like, holy shit! You'll be inspiring people after you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. Like you gotta want to be the dude that like the open casket is like shirt off, you know?
You're giving me ideas, man.
Yeah. These are real goals here.
Yeah. I mean, like, well, that's the thing, is like, because to that point, like, I think that like I did play a really good job of convincing myself that it wasn't a priority for a really long
Yeah.
time, and
I
like,
wanna touch on that right there.
yeah.
So what was it that, like, because you just mentioned, right? You're kind of at that point where you're like, well, I'm not jacked, like I'm not ripped, but I am rich. Okay, so for those guys, what's that switch? Like, how did you make that switch mentally?
Well, it's like, it's to that point, like what I just said, right? It's like, I think it takes some, for those guys, like it actually takes some sitting with thought, like it's not like one of those things where it's just like, because to that point, like I have previously never really been driven off of like, oh, I want to be jacked, or like, oh, I want to have this, or like I've never seen the jack dude and been like, yo, I want that. Like, I don't know why. That's just never been like a huge drive for me. But like, but when I sat down and thought, like looking at every area of my life, mind, body, spirit, business, relationships, and auditing those things and being like, where am I at with these things? And then looking at body and being like, like, that's where I was like, yo, I want to be like fucking stud, 5
Yeah.
star, 5 star, 5 star. I don't want to be like 5 star, 4 star, 3 star, 1 star, 2 star, 5
Yeah.
star. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want
Yeah.
to be playing the balance game. I want everything to be at that level. So I think there's a time period where you can convince yourself that, like, well, to that point, like if you're in the position that I'm in where you're not fat but you're not fit, like you can easily convince yourself that like it's not a
Mhm.
priority right now. But the other thing to convince yourself of is like, well, do you want to, if you like making money, do you want to make money for 125 years, or do you want to make money for fucking 65 years?
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's longevity too. That's important.
Yeah. And that's a big factor, man. Like, I want to be a centurion. That's one of my, if God wills it, if that's in my destiny, I'll be good. I should hit 100 minimum. Okay. However, doesn't matter how many years I live, it matters about the life within my years. Okay.
Mm.
So like for these guys, I don't care if you're making 7, 8 figures. Honestly, man, like I know enough guys that are at that point. Like it just doesn't impress me because it's like, cool, you made money. Like you understand how to make money. So do like hundreds of my other friends. All right. But what differentiates that guy from like the dude that is fucking elite is you make shit tons of money, but you also have an elite level physique. And that takes discipline. Like that takes a new fucking animal, right? So for those guys, it's like super impressive in my eyes. And I'm becoming one now because I got the body dialed in. So I'm getting my business dialed in. And you're going to see an article on me, like how this dude built his business because he was in elite shape. Like, because, right? Not despite. Most guys do it despite their shitty health.
Yep.
And that's where I really want to revolutionize things and get people to think about their performance in their business scaling as a result of dialing in their health, because you are your greatest asset. Like if you're drained, if you wake up and you have to slam energy drinks to get through the day, if you wake up and you're not really driven and have this burning desire to do what you want to do, and you don't have that intense focus, you don't have that mental resilience to be able to stay steadfast and blast through roadblocks and challenges, like when your back's against the wall and you've got a whole team to feed and business is tough, like, and then you've got maybe a relationship and this beautiful person that you got to go home to and take care of, or you get to. A lot of guys fail in one of those categories, and usually it's their body. Like they prioritize their business, but they don't prioritize their fitness. So they're more snappy and more irritated when they get home, and they project that on their significant other. And I think that's a very important aspect that most people don't realize. Like, it's one of the areas that really improves when you get your health right, your relationships with others, the way you treat people. Because that's like how you treat yourself is how you're going to treat someone else. So if you're, feeding yourself shit and all your inputs are shit, chances are you're doing the same thing outwards onto other people.
Yeah, like it's not just your shit that's gonna be shit. It's gonna be the shit that's coming out of your mouth. That's shit too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like and one thing that I just kind of drew from like what you were saying and like us talking about all these areas is like, I think, there's a lot that is out there nowadays about like the importance of mind, body, spirit, business, relationships, and there's all that. But like the other thing to look at too is like if you're a business driven dude, then think about what maximizing and optimizing each of these areas does for you.
Mhm.
Right. So like what I was just thinking while you were going through that is like, if we take the body side, right? Having an optimal body and having optimal health, it requires a lot of discipline. So you're going to, I think of it as like Wake Up Wealthy has this term about dark warrior and light warrior, right? Like there's times where we have to tap into the dark warrior of like fucking like animal vibes. And then there's times where we got to be the light warrior of like the lover and like the caretaker, right? So it's like, if we think about the body really brings that dark warrior of like tapping into something that like hitting that dark mode in the gym. And like what that brings you as a business owner is like when shit gets hard, tapping into that dark warrior and getting through it, right? The spiritual side will have you really understanding yourself and the awareness to the point where you are making very awareness-based decisions about your business. You're not making like emotional decisions. You're making awareness-based decisions about like almost from like an enlightened perspective, as opposed to an emotional perspective or like a fuck everything's broken perspective, right?
Yeah.
So like from body, you get like that darkness. From spiritual, you get that lightness of like enlightenment and like being able to see things from a different perspective and awareness. And then with relationships, you learn the basics of relationships are the same as running a team, right? Like
Right.
running a team is very similar to like having a relationship, understanding what's important, communication, like all these different things feed into that. So if you start to see it, if you're a very business-based person, then it's important to look at it from a business perspective. Like I think the problem from a lot of with a lot of entrepreneurs is they try and think about it from a perspective that they're not familiar with. Like if you're familiar at looking at things at a business perspective, then think about what benefit will come out of it for your business. The
Right.
benefit of dialing in your body, you're going to be able to tap into that dark warrior and be disciplined as fuck. The benefit of spirituality is being able to see things from a different perspective. The benefit of relationships is team building. The benefit of fucking, like all these areas that we are used to, like there's tangible benefit and tangible wins that come out of those things that directly feed into the business,
Yep. Yeah, that's a very good point. Like on the outside, when I speak to someone who's like, all right, what you got for me? How can you help me? Well, the reality is, man, like, obviously you get out what you put in, but the fitness side is, that's just like one of the pluses. Like it's more for business oriented men. It's more the performance aspect that I actually see a lot of guys are interested in, because their body is no longer performing at a rate that they like, or they would like to perform better because they want to scale, they want to go faster, they want to build bigger. And so they start looking at business mentors and strategies and different things that directly exist within their business, and how to improve those and optimize like their funnels and their website and their marketing tactic and their ads and their messaging. Sure, that's great, awesome. You could probably still optimize things, right? And you probably drive more revenue. But what about optimizing the one thing that creates all that? Like, you are a direct reflection of your business, or moreover, your business is a direct reflection of you. So if you're performing better, like if you feel better about yourself, and you're going to have better thoughts, you're going to take better action, at a higher capacity. And of course, your thoughts are going to be clearer. You're going to be more resilient. You're going to treat others better, and that's going to come off on the phone. When you shake someone's hand, you have a better first impression. They take you more seriously because they see someone that's dialed in, not only in their business, but in themselves, within their being. And so you take up more space. You come off more confident and just more actualized as a man. And it kind of stems back to energy work, which is something I do with my guys. Like I put people in this hypnosis trance and basically program their subconscious mind, and also use breath work and guided meditations and things like that, which no other fitness coach offers. And that's why Empoweredpreneur is so different. Like we set ourselves apart because fitness and training, nutrition, that kind of stuff is literally just one piece of the puzzle, aside from all the other things, mindfulness and lifestyle and their mindset. Like that's the biggest thing. So I mean, me myself, just giving you guys a perspective here, like people think that you guys put in how much into yourself? Like how much have you invested to get where you are right now?
Oh man. Yeah,
Like
money wise,
50
I mean,
2020.
yeah, yeah, dude, money wise a lot, but time wise too, like
Yeah.
I mean, shit, like, I mean, like, just from like working out, journaling, you know, like just spending time, quote unquote, with myself every day, you know, probably like 3 to 4 hours a day, you know, and like
Yeah.
people don't even really understand even what the fuck that even means, you know?
Right. Right. They don't see how that correlates to you making more money and living a better life. But the reality is they are directly correlated. Like,
Mhm.
for instance, when you invest in a program, when you invest in a mentor, the moment you put your money where your mouth is and you have skin in the game, you automatically start identifying opportunities at a bigger level. Like, for instance, me right now, because I'm only going to speak from experience. I just invested 30K in a mentorship that is mainly centered around mindset and NLP. So I'm becoming an NLP master basically and being trained by one of the best mindset coaches in the world. And the reason I did this so quickly with not one objection, like I knew the guy and I knew his background, I've seen his success and I trusted him, obviously, you know, but I knew that putting that money into this, into Empoweredpreneur and into myself was automatically going to light a fire under my ass that was way bigger than before. Because now I literally have to make an extra, 5K a month just to invest into this program. And it's honestly like one of the greatest feelings knowing that, hey, I put my money where my mouth is and I'm going to get 100x ROI out of this. Like, because without a doubt, and that's the same thing that goes for if you're investing in, let's say, my program as an entrepreneur. If you're investing in this, the reality is like, I mean, sure, I have programs from a few K to up to 12K and so on, and 30K. My program's coming out in a few months where I'll have like a intensive in-person program where I fly out to you and train you, and it's like the cream of the crop. Like no other guy offers this, right? However, if you look at that as just like, oh, 30K for a fitness program, holy shit. This is a completely wrong way of looking at it. It's more like 30K for you to feel much better, perform much better, get more out of you, operate at a higher level, physically, mentally, emotionally, and you're going to make way more money as a result. So yeah, that's kind of like the gist of what I do. And yeah.
I mean, just having your back against the wall is like what will put you in a position to make more money. You know, like
Oh yeah.
more people need to invest in shit because like that's what's going to put your back against the wall where like you're making a bet on yourself. And like every time you make a bet on yourself and you energetically do that with the form of money, then
Right.
you're going to have to match that. You know, like
Yep.
you don't, I mean, there are people out there who spend money and then don't get anything out of it, but it's because they didn't make that decision, you know?
It's they did it with a reluctant hand.
Yeah.
So they do it, but they're like scared. Sure, they're scared, and that's fine. And most people are. Like, am I going to tell you I do not even have one speck of, like fear around having just invested, that much money in where like I literally do not have that. Okay. And, I'm in a phase of my life where there's a lot of transition. I'm supporting myself and my significant other, and we're kind of moving around and traveling a lot. However, it really, for me, was like, I'm doing this despite the fear that I am seeing or feeling. And I think a lot of people don't do that, even entrepreneurs who have taken leaps in their life and who have taken huge risks for huge rewards. Same thing applies to your body. It's like if you're going to actually make a change, you need to put something on the line. And frankly, few $1,000s is not enough. Like it is, I've seen it time and time, and that's why, my programs continue to increase in investment, because I'm just realizing like, wow, this is not scary enough for most guys. Like they are just not invested enough because to them, 5K is just like, I'll make that in a few hours or a day, or, it's like dude, if you're living with that mentality of it's okay if I'm half-assed with this, you're not going to get results. But like if it actually makes you uncomfortable to do it, that stress is the driver. That's what people don't see. Stress is great. Stress can be terrible if you let it get out of hand and you don't do anything about it, because most people like to run away from their problems. Same way most entrepreneurs like to run away from the fact that they're 20 to 50 pounds overweight and they're artificially stimulating themselves every day because they don't have the energy, because they're sacrificing their sleep quality, they're not nourishing their body, they're ordering Uber Eats, they're not priming themselves for peak performance. And yeah, it's just like, I mean, dude, at what point do you draw the line in the sand and you say enough is enough? I'm sick of this shit. I want to get more out of my life. Like, I'm not going to get this time back, whether you're 20, 30, 40, which is like the average range that I work with. These guys, typically, they haven't experienced enough pain to really motivate them and drive them to make the change. They haven't, been diagnosed with diabetes yet or asthma, or they haven't maybe lost a loved one to health complications, or they don't see directly in their business how their lack of energy, focus, drive, all that is detracting from their business. So for these guys, it's more imperative to understand what they're leaving on the table. Like, what is your full potential, and then where are you at now? In sales, like you're selling them on the dream, right? But it's more so like most guys are already living the dream. Like, we're already living the dream. You guys are crushing it with your company, and you've got employees, and you're able to travel wherever, whenever. Obviously, there's levels to it, and eventually, like, we'll be chilling on a yacht and having a great time together, and that's coming. But we're already living the dream. So there's usually like not enough pain at the level that they're at. And it's one, knowing that they're leaving money on the table, they're leaving happiness on the table, they're leaving confidence on the table. And then two, it's also seeing, oh wait, there is a level of pain associated with where I'm at. I'm just burying it. Like, I am not choosing to look at it, right? Because I already think that, hey, I'm better than average. Like, my physique is not terrible. I mean, most guys I work with, like, they're better than average. They probably already work out. They probably already think they eat healthy. And I mean, do you want to just be better than average, or do you want to be elite? And that's kind of the choice that you've got to make. If you're okay with, this much, and this is fine to you, and you have told yourself, I'm happy, that's fine, man. Like, that's not who I want to work with. I want to work with someone that wants to be at the very pinnacle of what they do and actually live their best life, because we only get one in this meat suit. So why not have as fulfilled of a life as possible in every way? And I truly, truly believe health is the foundation of that.
Yeah. To capitalize on that, like going back to what, like how the conversation started here, like like Mike was talking about, very like being very like business minded, like fuck all this, like I got to focus on my business. And it's funny because like I'm like the opposite, like I'm like, fuck the business, like I got to work out, like I haven't worked out today, like that's literally like how I think. But that's like why I get up early as shit. And obviously, like I'll be in a coma at like 8 p.m. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, it goes both ways. But like to that point, like that was always like the motivation even early on. It was always like health based. Like I always seen like I went to Coastal Carolina, so like beach school. There's just like women all over the place, like smoking hot in bikinis. And like you always saw some jacked fucking dude, with him, like,
Yep.
I mean, it's just how college is,
Yep.
And so like, that was like kind of like where that motivation came from. But then I started to realize like that I was learning and developing these other things like discipline and the grit and like just that mindset to like, just show up when you didn't want to show up, you know? And so carrying all that shit into business and like into other like projects, quote unquote, because like that's kind of like what it was for me. Like I was in college and then I got into like entrepreneurship, like kind of on the side, and started to see like how that shit like went hand in hand, you know, like how my mindset from like working out and like wanting to achieve the body was like translating over into business, you know, like how that those same like kind of concepts applied. But so it's funny, like, because like as you guys were talking about that, I was like, damn, you know, like it's like kind of the opposite, you know. And like to that point, like I saw these like types of people in college, and you know, like these like jack dudes, whatever you want to call them, you know. And I always thought that they were just like born that way, you know, like that type of thing. And a lot of them, you know, good genes type of thing, you know, played sports, whatever. But then I started like following this guy who's like 42 years old, 44 years old, and he had brick abs. And I was like, damn, dude, like that's what I want, you know, like I want to be 40 something with brick abs. Like, fuck these guys. I want to be 40 something.
Yeah.
With these bricks, you know? So like going back into like the whole business translation, kind of like Bezos and these other guys, you know, it takes them 20, 30 years to like create these fucking like billion-dollar empires. So like what you were saying, why would an entrepreneur or, you know, someone young think that they can achieve the body that quick when they couldn't do the billion-dollar business that quick? You know, it's all that same mindset. But so going into like even kind of like the 75 hard stuff, you know, it's that same shit, you know, like it really just kind of teaches you how to have like that discipline, you know, to like, you know, schedule out your day, you know, like run a map type of thing, you know, and like impact multiple areas. So it's very interesting, you know, just to hear kind of like both aspects of it.
Yeah, I love that you were on the other end of the spectrum, because that's where I was, man. Like I always prioritized my body over everything. Like even going back to high school, dude, I skipped classes. I wouldn't do my homework, so I would go to the gym and train for hours. And honestly, that's why I'm at where I'm at. Like the reality is, dude, most people just have not put enough time, or have not put the time that I have in my health and my physique, and that's why they're not here. However, I say that just to outline, like, you don't necessarily have to be here, right? You are where you're at. So, dude, what does it look like if you put 90 days into your body? I'll give you an idea here. I can get someone to lose 20 pounds in 90 days for sure. I can get someone to look significantly better. I can get someone to look and feel amazing in a few months. Depends on where they start. Obviously, if they got, 100 pound to lose, I'm not gonna guarantee that, right? And that's not sustainable. It's not gonna happen over 3 months. But the reality is, dude, even in just 2 weeks, like I can take your average entrepreneur and help them have at least 20% more energy, at least have more focus and endurance in what they're doing, at least feel better. Like when they wake up, they're like, fuck yeah, I'm ready to rock, instead of like, hitting snooze,
Yeah.
So that's what you can expect as an immediate outcome, short term. However, for the long term, it's more of an identity change. Like you, Mike, where you had this understanding and it's been building over the past 6-7 years. You're like, I would not sacrifice my health or prioritizing my body for anything. Like business can wait. That is secondary. Because if I don't have this, all of this that I've built business-wise will crumble. It will not perform to where I want it. And that's the identity shift that I help people make. Like taking Mike Anderson essentially from where he was at mentally 4 or 5 months ago when we started working together, and basically bring him to where you are mentally with how you view your health and fitness. And he's like, Mike, you've been crushing it, bro. I'm really proud of you. And honestly, you've had a substantial transformation over the past few months, even though it's not just necessarily like physical, right? As we've talked about, much of this is metaphysical, Sure. So yeah, dude, I think it's amazing. And last thing I want to just point out before I give it back to you guys is 75 hard can be a great challenge. And I think it can be great for most guys to try it, but I am willing to bet 99.9% of guys don't finish it, don't succeed at it, because it is viewed as this short-term fix. Most entrepreneurs play stupid games to win stupid prizes.
Yep.
They pride themselves on their work ethic. So they're like, oh, fuck yeah, like 75 hard. Let me work out twice a day. Let me drink a gallon of water. Let me do all these things. Then the reality is none of it is tailored to you. All of it is just guidelines and it's cookie cutter. That's why I'm sure like almost 1 million people have probably done it. Not finished it, but tried it. And
Yeah, done it.
yeah, done it. So it's more about finding a sustainable strategy and creating what can be a lifelong change for you. Like, you don't have to work out twice a day. How about we start by just moving more, weightlift a few times a week. Let's start there. Like, most guys are not even doing that efficiently and effectively. Most guys are dilly-dallying on their phone between sets and just going through the motions with no real idea of what they're doing in the gym. And then further nutrition, like, do you know what you're putting in your body? Do you know how much you should be eating? Do you know what foods you should be eating? Okay, let's figure that out. All right, for your routines, your morning and evening routine, do you have to have this whole drawn out 3-hour morning routine? No. You can if you want, but like, I mean, dude, all you got to do is a minute of breath work in the morning when you first wake up. Don't touch your phone. Get some sunlight outside to prime your circadian rhythm. Get some movement in. You'll start, producing those endorphins and you'll put yourself in a better mood. And then you can go attack your workday. And that took you less than an hour. And now you're showing up more powerfully. You have more energy. You're in a better mind state and mood for the rest of your day. So it starts with these little tweaks, right? It's not this drastic change. Like 75 hard for most people, it's so drastic that you don't actually sustain the habit changes. And the most crucial principle to making a habit change is tailoring it as you go, like slowly progressing into it. If you want to make a habit change, you guys have read the book Compound Effect. This is the 101 of making a habit change is slow, sustainable, simple changes over time. And then you look back and you're like, holy shit, I climbed up this whole mountain. Like, I'm a completely different person than I was 3 months, 6 months, a year ago. And that's basically what we do. Rather than just giving you this cookie cutter program, telling you, hey, go lift, go do this, go do that. No, let's actually assess your life. And let's take a comprehensive top-down approach of where you want to be and where you're at right now. Let's meet you where you're at. Let's give you the right tools and the right habits and implementing those into your life. And then let's hold you accountable, like ridiculously accountable. Something that I've been really drilling is just being like a lot more intimate with my guys and a lot more there. Like, if I know that this guy has trouble sticking to his training plan, I'm texting him every single morning. If I know that this guy is, not adhering to something, or maybe he's struggling, or maybe he talks himself out of things, maybe he doesn't do his grocery shopping or doesn't like doing his meal prep and instead orders out to eat, like what Mike was doing before. He was ordering out a lot, eating out. And then he finally was like, all right, dude, I'm going to start cooking my meals. Like, it's time,
Exactly.
And honestly, dude, that's one of the biggest things that really separates someone that gets good results and elite results. Like, how much attention to detail are you willing to put in?
Yeah.
Because if you want to put in like 30 minutes, I mean, dude, you can get a decent workout in 30 minutes. But like, and I'm not saying more is more. Ideally, less is more, right? That's the first thing we do is simplify and optimize performance by eliminating things, right? But then if you really want to get to that pro status, like basically what I do now is turn businessmen into business athletes. So there's a very finite few way to do that. Like at a certain extent, you have to sacrifice going out and partying every weekend. You can't be popping bottles and buying tables every weekend. Like you cannot be prioritizing your business in the morning and texting your clients before showing yourself love and prioritizing yourself. You cannot be ordering Uber Eats every single day and going out to eat, or else you just simply won't get there as fast and you won't get that to that level that you want. It's the same thing in business. Like, I mean, dude, you can build a 6-figure company just kind of having your shitty organization skills and not having the best systems, and you can do pretty good for yourself. But I mean, do you just want good or do you want the absolute best? Because the absolute best is going to require this 1% mentality. It's going to require that pro athlete mentality to where you are not cheating, you are not eating out every single week. Like you are stepping the fuck up. You're getting really clear on your desires and you're sacrificing everything that is pulling you away from that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and to your point about like the, you being you type of thing, like starting out your day with yourself, like, like the one thing that I always like, and I think it's a lot of the motivation as to like why I am the way I am with like myself is like, like generally I'm like a very selfish person, as it is. Like I really just think about like shit for me and that's really it. But like because of that, like that's why I am that way with like fitness and shit. Like I wake up and to me it's the one thing that I have direct control over. Like business is always going to be a roller coaster. Like no matter what level it is, billions, fucking millions, $10,000 a year, it's always going to be a roller coaster, So to me, like I don't want my life to be like that, So it's like, if I can control myself, spend time with myself, then I always start out the best way possible, and then, it allows me to come into other situations a little bit better, So I think that's been like the biggest thing for me, like to that point, like you were talking about, just like starting out with yourself first, like that whole like kind of like roller coaster ride as far as like the outside world, and I think if people like could kind of like shift that same mentality where it's like, I can control me. So as long as I show up for me every day, then it's a win. The other shit is just going to be a byproduct of me showing up for me every single day. The health, the wealth, the relationships, So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, you guys get it. So I'm practically preaching to the choir here, but I hope that the audience got something out of it. Because if you truly digested what we just talked about, I have a great feeling that things have started to turn and gears have started to shift for you. And if it hasn't, I mean, you're simply not there. Maybe you're not ready yet, and that's fine. But if you are ready, I'm going to plug myself here because I truly do want to help if there is anybody out there. But if you guys are ready, DM me on Instagram, Swole Socrates, and I'm sure you guys can just plug the details there. But yeah, just shoot me a message and tell me where you're at, where you want to go. And we'll see that if we are a match for each other, if it makes sense to work together, let's do it. If not, no worries. But at the very least, you'll get a lot of value on the call with me one-on-one. I guarantee that.
100%. We co-sign. DM the man.
So Socrates, hit him up.
It's the best thing you'll ever do for yourself, I promise.
Where else can they find you, brother?
They can text me. No, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, honestly, bro, I like to keep it very simple. I like to just have people, plug in on Instagram because, I mean, that's where I'm most active and that's where I drop the most value. And I think if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see very quickly why I live, breathe, and shit this stuff. Like, this is not a fucking game to me. I mean, it is, and that's what's fun. But like, it's not just this. I don't do this for making money. All right, that's the difference between me and most fitness coaches. Like most guys don't even last in this industry. They make 6-7 figures and then they're out, and now they're coaching other coaches. Most guys aren't in it. Their heart's not in it, right? And that's why I'm going to succeed at the highest level. And that's why I am the best health optimization coach out there. And that's why I'll get crazy fucking results with my guys. Because for me, it's not just, let me do this to make money right now. It's actually my burning desire and passion and how I will leave an impact on hundreds of thousands of people, millions eventually, of course. And yeah, man, I mean, we're growing every single day, and it's awesome. Like, we offer some crazy things that nobody does, frankly. We've got retreats that we're hosting now, and we've got plant medicine experiences. We've got one-on-one coaching. We've got, one-on-one intensives. Like, I'm going to fly out to Mike, or he's going to fly out to me, and we're going to do a 3-day boot camp where we train together, we cook together, we sleep together, we mastermind together. I teach him a shit ton. Mike Pugliese, you're also invited, bro.
Yeah, I'll come sleep with you guys.
Like, an exciting, just super fun time. That's the other thing, man. Like, when it comes down to it, dude, what I do with these guys is so fun, and it's just going to increasingly be fun. Like, I'm building an adventure company. Empowerpreneur is a coaching company, and then part of that, Inner Liberation, is an adventure company. Like, we're going to do sick shit. We're going to hunt together, go backpacking, do plant medicine, do all this stuff. And yeah, man, it's going to be fun. So, I mean, the Empowerpreneur clients get access to that, and only that. Like, nobody else. That is for the guys that I work with, just curating a brotherhood and curating this, community. Because honestly, men lack connection, like, the most. That's why most men are just alone, and usually they use work and business to cope with that, and that's kind of their outlet. But giving them an opportunity to bond with other hustlers, other entrepreneurs, it gives you a sense of connection, and it allows you to feel like you're a part of something that's bigger than you. And I think that if you really want to actualize, like, that is key to your spiritual evolution. You've got to be a part of something that's bigger than you. You've got to be, a part of a brotherhood and a community. And I know, Mike Anderson, that's like one thing for you that's been really beneficial as you've been a part of Wake Up Wealthy. Like, that community is fucking awesome. And so, yeah, that's basically what I'm building now. Like, aside from it being, an incredible health optimization program, it's really a brotherhood, and it's kind of like a cult of jacked, shredded, elite business owners.
Hell yeah.
I like it.
That's what I'm talking about. DM the man on Instagram at Swole Socrates. Pleasure to have you on, brother.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys giving me this space to voice myself and spread the message. That's the most important thing for me. Just getting this out there to more people, spreading the wealth, because health is wealth, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
and on
sir.
that note, we fucking
out.
out.
Peace.
Yeah. I'm on the expensive mic today. I might sound a little different. Hey, I wrote this shit for Ronnie. Just know I'm here for you, brother. Reminiscing on them days when I shed a tear for you, brother. Know the toughest days you've been through are in the rear for you, brother. God moves on his own time, and he made it clear to you, brother. See the finish line. I visualize realities I wanted, then invented mine. It ain't how you start, it's how you finish. Word to the scrimmage line. Luckily,